Hello there, instructor. My presentation today is on deontological ethics on chapter 7, uh, written assignment. So my topic is falsifying information at work. So in the overviews, in the presentation, I will be talking about the ontological ethics, specifically the Kant categorical imperative, and how it applies to the scenario of falsifying information at works. So from introduction to deontology, deontology is an ethical theory that emphasizes the importance of duties and adherence to the moral rules. And mostly, this is unlike what we have seen on the thing like utilitarianism. So deontological is a non-consequential. That means it is not the consequence of an action that justify what we are doing, but it is the meaning of the thing that justify the consequence of our action. So which imply that the mean justify the end of an action. So according to this perspective, action are considered morally right if they align with the established duties regardless of their consequence. So on the one's next one, which is the primary topic, is the categorical imperatives. So the categorical imperative is foundational concept in Kantian ethics, and actually, uh, it posits that one should act according to the maxim that can be universally applied. So a lot of rules and principles are there, but what is important in Kant categorical information is that our action that we are doing, or the moral conduct that we are doing, are the one that identify the consequence of our action. So what is important here is that the emphasis is that we have to make the correctness of an action before we do them. So we have three formulation of categorical imperative. The first law, the principle of universality. The second law, the humanity. The third one is autonomy. I will explain them one by one in seconds. So the first formulation is the universal law, or we can say it, the principle of universalities. So before saying that, in the principle of universality, we mean that we act only to conduct that is universally acceptable without any contradiction. So let's apply the first formulation here with some scenario. From my topics, if everyone falsified information at works, so it will lead to a breakdown of trust and integrity in proportional relationship because it will affect the universal law of human being. So such a maxim could not be universalized without contradiction as it would create an environment of dishonesty. Second one is the humanity. So the principle of humanity, before I go ahead, so here what we mean that we don't have to use the humanity of ourselves or the humanity of others as a mean to an end. This is because peoples as rational beings are end in themselves and should never be used merely as mean to other ends. So falsifying information reduces the colleagues and client to mere mean for personal gain. So this one is the problem. So what we have to respect is what is there as human right, okay, should be respected. The autonomy means self. So this requires us to consider whether the maxim or the rule of conduct of falsifying information could be acceptable and universal or not. So which implies that in autonomy, we should consider ourselves to be members in universal realm of ends. That is, our action not only affect us but that of others. So if everyone acted on this principle, it would undermine the very foundation of moral laws and mutual respects in professional settings. So the consequence of falsifying information at work, as I was talking, because it is one of the more important topics that I've chosen. So while some may argue that falsifying information could yield short-term benefit, like job retention, but the long-term consequence include loss of credibility, potential legal repercussion, and the damage to workplace culture. So ethical behavior promotes trust and collaboration among employees. Otherwise, it would be difficult if falsifying information at work is there. So the real world example, like consider a real world case like Enron scandals, where dishonesty lead to severe consequence for employees and investors alike. So these examples highlight the importance of adhering to ethical principles and demonstrate the practical implication of Kantian ethics in business contexts. So the ethical implication in professional context. So upholding honesty and integrity is crucial for maintaining professional relationships. So falsifying information not only harm individual who do that, but also undermine the organization reputation and ethical standards. So a commitment to ethical behavior fosters a positive workplace culture. So the summary of key points, in summary, Kant's three formulation of categorical imperative illustrate that falsifying information at work is moral unacceptable. So such action cannot be universalized, disrespect individual autonomy, and undermine the moral law. Conclusion: Kantian ethics provide a robust, what we call a robust framework for understanding moral action in professional setting. So by adhering to ethical principle, we contribute to cultures of integrity and respect with the workplace. So these are my reference that I've chosen.